Hey guys, and welcome back to a tool episode of Dan's Pro Shop. This one was actually brought to me by a viewer, and I thought it was a great idea, so here we are. Top 10 gift ideas for dad slash the man slash the mechanic in your life. If you're like anybody else and you wait till crunch time to get something for Christmas or birthday, well, here is Dan's Pro Shop. Top 10 gift ideas to get that special fella in your life. Now, guys, bear in mind, there is no rhyme or reason, there is no order or in price option here. This is just stuff that I put together that I feel like every fella needs in his shop. Don't worry, I will link everything in the description. I don't know the prices offhand, but I'll try to tell you least expensive to most expensive. I feel like it's pretty obvious what we're going. But we're just going to do this in a line for sake of argument. Starting over here, a MAP gas self-igniting torch. If you guys have ever used plumbing torches before, you know, the ones where you just have to undo the knob and you got to use a striker or a lighter or something, that crap is for the birds. We are far beyond that. This, if I had to guess, this kit, like you buy it just like this in the package, probably around 60 bucks or so. But you can get this thing in MAP gas or propane. MAP, the yellow one, is significantly better. This burns way hotter than propane. So you can use this for more than just plumbing. Like if you need to heat up a torch on or heat up a bolt on an exhaust manifold or something, this guy might be just enough to get you out of a bind. Strong recommendation. This guy is awesome. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. You know, burning boxes on the weekend, whatever. This guy is nice. One hand operation. Good one. Moving on down the line here, you guys can see a lot of red. Well, I'm not necessarily loyal to Milwaukee, but in the years leading up to now, I have gravitated towards Milwaukee because they are really just, you know, taking the industry by storm. If you're a wrench, chances are you probably own something Milwaukee. So we're going to start here with an electric torch. You know, this is the M18 trouble light. You know, it's chances are you probably already have this battery set up for like impacts and drills and drivers and stuff. Spending a little bit of money to get a good work light that already works with all the batteries that you already have. Good, solid addition. I like this one. Keep going here. We got more Milwaukee, but we moved down to the M12 line. This is an M12 electric ratchet. A lot of people call them cordless ratchets. Now, it's for the longest time I did not have one of these. I was really stubborn and I stuck with my pneumatic stuff. But one of my buddies talked me into getting one of these, and boy, am I glad that he did. These electric ratchets save so much time, and not to mention, they save the skin on your knuckles. Because if you guys have ever used an air ratchet, you know, those things do not give up. Let's just say you're cranking on something underneath your truck and it grabs, it will slam your hand so hard against that frame rail that you will literally see stars. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's cool. They have a lot of power, but these do the same job. They don't have the same gusto, but they stop. They kind of give up before it breaks your hand apart. Either way, that's not really what these are made for. They're not supposed to be torque. They're for speed. So if you are a flat rate mechanic or simply just someone that values their time, these things just spin fasteners out. And it gives you the ability to spin a fastener at a right angle in a location where you may not have the ability to swing a traditional ratchet. You just get into where you need to go, hit the button, spin your fastener out. I absolutely love this. And just like the light, chances are you probably already invested in this M12 line with your other stuff. So cordless 3/8 ratchet. This is another good one. Next one up on the list, we're still on Milwaukee here. This is the M12 3/8 stubby impact. This one has significantly more power than the ratchet. Obviously, it's supposed to. It's an impact. But dude, let me tell you how much in love with this stubby 3/8 I am. This has become hands down my #1 favorite cordless tool to ever exist. Hold on, let me grab something for you. This guy right here is the 14.4 volt snap-on 3/8 impact gun. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this thing. But whenever it comes to apples and apples here, I gotta take the Milwaukee. The only thing keeping my heart in line with the snap-on is the toggle trigger. And if you guys are a wrench by profession, I'm sure that you've dealt with snap-on cordless power tools before. And I absolutely do love this thing because of the simplicity of this trigger. I'm sure this is some kind of a trademark thing, why that's the only reason that Snap-on is the only people that have this trigger. I tell you what, if this trigger came on this gun, this thing would be in the garbage. I mean, just look at the difference here in depth. Obviously, just from girth and length here, keep your mind out of the gutter, will ya? This thing, pound for pound, will outwork the Snap-on every day of the week. Not to mention, we are still in the M12 line. So these batteries fit all the other stuff you already have. You know, your impact drill, your driver, your trouble lights, your whatever. Just this Milwaukee M12 line is just, I cannot express my love for it enough. And this thing just has guts for days. You can rip off lug nuts with this thing, and it's small enough to get in engine bays. If you need to take the nut off of a fan clutch or something, you may be able to get this in between the fan and the radiator because of how small it is. I mean, it's a solid 2 or 3 inches shorter than the Snap-on same thing, and it has more power. I absolutely love this one. It is a little more pricey. It's probably $250, $300 for the tool only, but pay attention to Home Depot and stuff like that. You could probably get a kit that comes with a couple batteries and a charger on sale for Father's Day or Christmas or whatever. But I absolutely love this stubby 3/8 impact. Now, keeping with the Milwaukee theme, what would a shop be without tunes? This M12 Bluetooth radio thing has been an absolute lifesaver. If you guys are anything like me, you hate working alone in the quiet. You know, then you start digging into those corners of your brain that you wish you weren't able to have access to. So as long as you got Hank Williams running in the background, it's okay. So this thing hooks up to your phone via Bluetooth. I mean, we're well past the era of cords, so you just Bluetooth wirelessly to this thing. You can run your Pandora, your YouTube music, your Spotify, whatever you want. But this also has a regular AM FM radio. So if you're on the site with 12 other guys, you know, and nobody can pick, or are we listening to Godsmack or are we listening to Waylon Jennings? You know, just put on the local radio station, everybody shuts up, and you still have tunes to make the day go by a little bit quicker. And another cool thing about this, on the back, it has a USB port, so you can charge your phone if you need to. It's absolutely awesome. And it takes the same M12 battery as everything else. And if you put a 6 amp battery in this thing will probably run a solid 15 hours or so without charging it. And I mean, at full tilt. Like, you can run Pantera all day and make sure that everybody knows that you're a metalhead off of one battery and charge your phone off of it. So this is just another one of those things. You don't really need it, but dude, I tell you what, if you got a guy on your shopping list for this Christmas, if you give him one of these, there will be nothing but smiles and thank yous. Now we're getting out of the heavy mechanical stuff a little bit more and getting kind of into the integrals, if you will, whatever. This happens to be a Fluke 179 multimeter. Now, multimeters are multimeters. That being said, there are grades, just like everything else in life. There's good, better, best, and there's junk. Fluke, in my opinion, is the absolute best multimeter on the market that you can buy. This meter in particular is a great do-it-all, not top end, but absolutely not junk by any means. This is a great multimeter. If you do anything, not specifically automotive, not industrial maintenance, not electrician, not commercial, not residential, anything you get into, having a good quality multimeter is absolutely paramount. For dumb stuff, checking fuses, checking breakers. You need to replace an outlet in your house. You need to check a light switch to make sure that it's working. You need to dig into the dishwasher on the weekend because something happened. You need to have a good quality multimeter and know how to use it. So actually, I made a video about using multimeters. Check it out right up here. But having a good quality multimeter is an absolute must-have for everybody's tool bag. Now, this one is a little more specific, but for me personally, I use this all of the time. This is a digital caliper. If you do any kind of measuring, any kind of engine work, any kind of precision, anything, having a digital caliper, a good quality one, like, you know, you can go to Harbor Freight and get, please don't. If you're doing precision measuring instruments, this is something worth spending some coin on. Honestly, I don't know price range. So we're talking, this is going to be $100 plus minimum. This is not cheap, but if you do this kind of stuff, having a good quality digital mic can be the difference between getting your job done and getting it done correctly. For something as simple as just measuring bolts so you know what you need whenever you go to the hardware store, or something more critical like measuring valve clearance or thrust on a cam bearing. Stuff like this is super important. If you get into anything like that, a good digital mic is an awesome tool to have. Now, getting down here to the more cost-effective end, a solid quality set of ball end Allen wrenches. People call them hex keys, people call them Allen wrenches, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Standard and metric, because the world we're living in now, you know, everything's not imperial anymore, and we're getting more and more metric. So having a good, solid, complete kit of Allen wrenches, because if you guys have some of these, I'm sure you know that one's missing, you know, the 1/8 inch is here. It's a good, complete kit of American and metric Allen wrenches. You will not regret having these. Getting down to the end of the line here, multiple options of channel locks. Now, I know the purists, hey Dan, that's not a channel lock. Channel lock's a brand name. Those are actually groove pliers. Okay, guy, calm down. Quality groove pliers, if you will. Because, okay, these ones are made by Crescent. These ones are actually made by Vice Grip. So here, I don't even have a pair of channel locks, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. These things are awesome. So these things were originally made for plumbing, so you can grab different diameters of pipe. But these things are absolutely awesome, especially if you spring for the V groove jaws like these. You can grab 6-side head fasteners and do different stuff with these. Now, don't get me wrong. These are not a substitute for a socket or the correct size wrench, but these things can really get you out of a jam. If you need to hold on to a tie rod so you can take off the jam nut, it's just anything and everything. There are endless uses for a good set of channel locks. And if you do some digging, like I mentioned, I'll put some links in the description. You can get a kit of these, or like 3 or 4 different sizes for different applications for a relatively affordable cost. Let's just say $50 or so, and you can get 3 different size channel locks in one kit that will really get you through a lot of projects. And finally, the one you've been waiting for, number 10. A brand new ice cold case of Iron City beer. Yeah, I know this one may be a personal favorite of myself, but hey, if any of you guys want to get me a case of Icy Light for Christmas, there's no going wrong with that. So I know this was a little quick one here, but I figured this would be a good thing to go through. That just the top 10 off the top of my head, you know, what you should have in your shop if you plan on doing stuff. Now, I know this may be geared a little bit more towards mechanical stuff. If you're a carpenter or a cabinet builder or a plumber or something, this may not be your go-to top 10. But I feel like even if you are a full-time mechanic or an engineer or something, or even just a weekend warrior fixing your lawnmower on Sunday afternoon, this is good stuff to have. Let's just say you're changing the blades on your lawnmower. Well, you're going to need an impact gun to take that blade off. And let's just say that the nut on the blade is seized. Look at that. We got a torch to help us on our way. Now, let's just say that we mess up the threads whenever we take that nut off. Now we have a digital micrometer to tell us exactly what size that stud is, so we can go down to the Home Depot and get a new nut. Whenever we're doing anything and everything, this is good stuff to have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and this helps you a little bit with your gift list in the future. I hope you guys like this one, and we'll see you next time.